Welcome to the Deep Dive. Anyone following the Middle East knows this past week, well, it's been tense. A lot happening. We've gathered quite a stack of urgent reports here, and we're going to try and cut through some of that noise today, really get to the core of what's behind the latest U.S. military moves regarding Iran. So our mission really is to unpack these developments, figure out what's actually at stake, and look at what might happen next.
Yeah, and what's really striking looking through these sources is just how fast everything is moving. And the show of force, it's dramatic. We've got reports detailing multiple B-2 Spirit stealth bombers. They apparently took off from White Man Air Force Base just this weekend.
B-2s, okay.
Yeah, heading west across the Pacific. The belief is they're going to key bases, maybe Guam, maybe Diego Garcia, somewhere out there.
And these aren't just routine flights, I take it.
No, not at all. These are stealth bombers designed for long-range strikes, precision, and crucially, they can carry those bunker buster bombs, you know.
The ones for hitting really fortified, deep underground targets.
Exactly. Like Iran's Fordow site, the uranium enrichment facility, it's buried deep, very hardened. These bombs are specifically for targets like that.
That sends a pretty strong signal. But why right now? According to the sources, what's the immediate trigger for this very public move?
Well, digging into the material, it seems like a mix of things coming together. We've got intel reports, new satellite images too, apparently suggesting Iran has significantly ramped up its uranium enrichment.
Okay, so defying international agreements again.
Openly, yes. And this comes right after those unilateral Israeli strikes.
Yeah.
Just last week, hitting Iranian nuclear sites.
Right, I remember that.
And then there's the political dimension, which is fascinating. Former President Trump, he's campaigning hard for 2024, right? Reports say he's seriously considering joining this offensive. He actually put out a pretty stark warning.
What did it say?
Something like, Iran has one last chance to come to its senses, and if they don't back off, they'll face the full force of American firepower. Pretty direct.
Wow.
And there's an NSC meeting, National Security Council, scheduled this week. The decision on potential direct U.S. strikes could come within 2 weeks. So the timing of deploying these B-2s, well, it definitely carries a political message too, you know?
Absolutely. So it's not just tactics, it's tangled up with domestic politics as well. That's clear from the sources. Which leads to the big question, the one everyone's asking.
Yeah.
What are the actual immediate stakes here if the U.S. goes ahead? What could happen?
That is the crucial point, isn't it? Because connecting the dots, I mean, a direct U.S. strike, it could ignite a much bigger war, a regional one.
You mean retaliation?
Yes, from Iran itself, almost certainly, or, you know, through its proxies. Think Hezbollah, the Houthi forces. These are powerful groups backed by Iran with real capabilities.
Right, serious players in the region.
Definitely. And you see the ripple effects already. Global oil prices, they're always jittery, but they jumped noticeably when these bomber movements were reported.
Unsurprising.
And the sources showed this split view, right? Supporters saying it's strong leadership, decisive action. Critics are calling it a huge gamble, extremely dangerous, potentially spiraling out of control.
High stakes gamble indeed.
And we're seeing other moves too. More U.S. assets, fighter jets, refueling tankers, carrier groups that are reportedly moving closer to the Gulf. Meanwhile, Iran's response has been pretty unequivocal. Retaliation against U.S. bases, against allies, if they're attacked.
So, okay.
Yeah.
A lot to take in.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for you, the listener? Just trying to make sense of this world that feels constantly on edge, especially with these rapid developments.
I think the bottom line, reading through everything, is pretty straightforward, actually. The U.S., with these B-2s, is sending a very loud, very clear message. Military action is definitely on the table. It's a real possibility.
Not just posturing.
Seems like more than that, yes. Now, whether former President Trump actually acts, that likely depends critically on what Iran does next and, you know, ultimately how far both sides are really willing to push things in this very volatile situation.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something provocative for you to consider. In this age we live in, with information flying so fast and these complex global games playing out, how do you figure out the real intent behind such dramatic displays of military power, and what responsibility does that put on all of us as informed citizens to really grasp the stakes that lie beneath the headlines? Definitely something to mull over as this continues to unfold.